Hello, and welcome to Allie in Sweatpants. My name is Allie, and I am wearing sweatpants. I am here today to talk to you about what I have been making. I should have organized before I started, sorry. What I have been making in January and February, mostly. Some of this is a little bit of rollover from December or even older projects, but you know, it's the general gist. So I'm not wearing any knits right now because I thought I would put on my finished, it's a disaster. I thought I would put on my finished objects for you as I go. So here's my pile. She's beautiful, but she is big. So let me get my phone for my notes. Out of breath is crazy. Yes. Oh, yes. Okay. So the first thing that I finished in January, which was literally done except for the collar and the button band, so it's not as crazy as it seems, is this Lullabi cardigan from the 52 Weeks of Easy Knits book. This is knit out of Drops Snow. I had a bunch left over from the felted sailor slippers that I made my whole family for Christmas that I decided to, look at how much I over-ordered, and I still have enough to make myself a pair of slippers. So yeah, way over ordered, but I thought it could make a really fun cardigan, and it does. But my problem with it is, and again, I have the yarn to fix this. I wanted this to be this really big, oversized cardigan, and it's still pretty cropped, but the sleeves are the problem. And I have blocked this at least twice, if not 3 times, and I have really stretched these sleeves in the blocking process. I really thought with the garter that would, I'm boiling. I really thought with the garter that would just stay in blocking, but it hasn't. So if this has any shot of actually being worn, I need to go in and lengthen the sleeves. But so let's do some stats. I didn't save any stats. Oh no, I was gonna say what size I made, and usually I put in my Ravelry page the size that I make, and I didn't. Sorry. But this used 556 grams of yarn, which is just over 11 skeins. So imagine that. I order yarn for those slippers and I have over 11 skeins of excess. That's kind of crazy go nuts. But it's in the charcoal color, I would say warm, kind of bare brown, and then a really pretty purple mauve and the olive green color. So the green was for Chris's slippers, the purple was for my mom's, and the brown was for my dad's. And then everybody got the dark gray for the soles. So that is my Lullabi cardigan. I haven't ever made a garment in garter because I feel like there was such like, that's a beginner stitch, that's old school, that's dated. I love garter. I want to make another garter cardigan on a smaller gauge, and I actually have a pattern by Albina McLaughlin to do so. So I love garter. I think it looks really cool. The next sweater that I finished is my ultimate perfect sweater. Like perfect, haven't taken it off since the day I finished it type sweater. And it is the step-by-step, what's it called? Step-by-step sweater. Yes. Here it is. Couldn't be more perfect. So my goal for this year, I'm calling it Project Comfy Cozy. I used to be a huge sweatshirt girly. Like, I was always wearing a sweatshirt. And now that I knit sweaters, I don't really like spending time in my sweatshirts anymore because it's like, ugh, if I'm gonna be in something cozy, I want it to be something I made. But I have a really bad habit of making things too small and too cropped. So Project Comfy Cozy is basically my mission to knit things long enough, big enough, and have them feel as comfortable as my sweatshirts used to. And I nailed it. So I think I made the 5th size. Let's see. Yes, I made the 5th size. So, here it is. As you can see, there's lots of extra room. I did a little modification. I decided to do 2x2, and I sort of shifted the stitches around so that my 2-stitch raglan, where is it? Oh my God, it's all the way over here. My 2-stitch raglan ran from the neck ribbing down into the raglan. The other modification that I made, which I'm going to add to almost all of my sweaters now, is, I don't know if you'll be able to tell, but the back is lower than the front, and that is because I added 7 sets of short rows to the back. So when the front hit the length that I wanted it to be, I then added the short rows, and it was probably like, almost 2 inches or 4 centimeters of extra short row on the back, because I hate when the back is shorter than the front. I hate it. It is a huge pet peeve of mine. And this, it just, I mean, it couldn't be more, it is my sweatshirt sweater now. And I thought that I would not like this type of sleeve. I typically only ever do fitted cuffs, and I don't mind at all. The only time I mind is when I'm trying to do like dishes or something or cook, but then I just fold it once and push it up and it's all good. So this is my step-by-step sweater. I knitted in Heart-to-Garn New Life wool, and it is 506 grams, which is 5.1 skeins. So this is a recycled wool. I think it was 70% recycled wool and 30% recycled other fibers. And it's just in this charcoal gray color, and I really love it. So that is my step-by-step sweater, and I couldn't be happier with it. Could not be happier. I truly have been wearing it every single day. So my next finished project is this beauty. This is the Ingrid sweater by Petite Knit. I made one of these for Chris in, I was gonna say December, but no, I finished it by December 1st. So I guess sometime in the fall, I was working on one for him, and I found this yarn. And this is not to be funny because it's not a funny topic, but I genuinely struggle to say this brand name right now as an American citizen. It feels silly. Like, it feels silly. It feels silly not being able to say it because obviously it is not the company's fault. It's been called this forever. I don't know. Take it with a grain of salt. It's this company. They have tons and tons and tons of yarn. And I found this one, which I think is new, and it's 100% recycled wool. And it is stunning. This one is not overly tweedy, but some of the other colors are very tweedy. And I was going back and forth. I didn't know, I started like 3 other patterns with this burgundy color, and just none of them were hitting. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh, wait, that would make an incredible Ingrid sweater. So that's what I did. I feel like I should have put my hair up. Should I do it now? Where's my clip? Where's my clip? Oh, here's one. Okay, sorry, the hair had to go up. I am boiling. So I made the Ingrid sweater. Here it is in all of its beautiful, stunning glory. Let's see what size I knit. I knit the 5th size, and it took exactly 4 skeins of this yarn. This is 399 grams. Wait, I saved the leftovers. Okay. This is all I have left. And these were the tails. Like, this is all the little bits that I snipped from the tails. That is all I have left. So the downside about this yarn is it is sold in packs of 4. So if you need 5, you have to buy 8. Now, luckily for my size and my boyfriend's size, I am able to make sweaters with 4 skeins. But you know, there's going to be a huge group of people who are not able to do that. And so it is annoying, but I will say 4 balls, 1 pack. They do sales seemingly all the time. You can get 4 balls for a little over $8. So even if you need, I'm licking, thank you. Even if you need 2 packs, $16 for 100% wool. It's incredible. Now, did shipping cost as much as the yarn? Yes, but that still came out to, when it was $8 something, I think 4 balls came out to just about $17, which I am okay paying for a 100% recycled wool sweater. So do with that what you will, but I am a huge advocate for this yarn. I love it. It's very soft. The color range is insane. It's a huge color range. There is something for everyone. And I haven't worn it yet, like worn it hard, so I'm not sure how it, okay buddy, you're gonna have to stop licking. Thank you. So I'm not sure how it wears long term yet in terms of pilling or whatever. Your allergy panel came back clear. We know you don't have allergies. Please stop licking. But I will obviously report back on that as I wear this more. So here she is. I love her. And I just tucked in the tails yesterday. So I will hopefully start wearing it. Now the last sweater I have to share is again in the same yarn, but in, I think they call it their light khaki colorway. Online it looks much more green leaning, and in real life it's very gray. Dare I say grayish. Maybe that's aging me into the millennial category, but it is. And this is the Versal by Albina McLaughlin. Honey, you gotta stop. Let's see what size I made. I made the 5th size. Hold on, I weighed it the other day. And this weighs 287 grams. So I used just under 3 balls of that yarn, and each ball is 300 meters. But you would hear 300 meters and think pretty small needles, but I find that this, to me, it looks like a thick DK. It knits up really well on 4 and 4.5 millimeter needles at my gauge. I am a tight knitter, but so here we are. This I do not think is finished. I think I need to go back and add length to the body because I think it will look really good with jeans, but let's be honest, I wear sweatpants much more often than I wear jeans. So here it is. Again, I did the same thing. Yeah, I gotta add length. Like, that's cuckoo. I did the same thing where I added 7 sets of short rows in the back. Here are the sleeves. I did the folded collar, no body shaping, no decreases in the sleeves. The thing about this that I'm not big on also is how deep the yoke is. Like, that comes up quite far when I reach my arms up, which takes away comfy cozy points for me, but I still think it looks really nice. This is my 5th Versal. Did I say this is the Versal by Albina McLaughlin? Because it is. This is my 5th time making this pattern. I really enjoy making this pattern. There's like a male female version of the pattern. You get it when you purchase it, you get both. So whichever kind of traditional shaping fits your body better, you have both options. And within those options, there's like 3 necklines, 2 or 3 body options, and 2 sleeve options. So that's like great. However, the Saglin pattern by Albina is almost identical to this one, just a different construction method. And that one has like a thicker gauge. And then she just released an amendment to the pattern to include a sport weight version. So I'm really kind of wishing that I had bought that one originally because I am looking for patterns for thinner yarn weights. But anyway, I digress. This is my Versal. Oh my gosh, so much to talk about. I really thought doing this like, you know, monthly format would be a bit easier. I'm still overwhelmed. So we're gonna fly through socks because this is like, I have one from October, I have a lot from December, so we're not gonna spend too much time. But in October, Chris and I went to England and I got to visit / meet my friend Jade. She's one of my knitting friends. And we have a little WhatsApp group of friends, and 2 years now we've done Christmas swaps. And so because I was going to England, we paired with each other, so I could just bring her her advent, and then we were gonna go yard shopping, and she was going to buy me my advent. And so we went to Loop in London, and I saw this Lang yarn. It's like a heathered, is that what you call it? I'm not sure. Blue yarn. And it's those little, you know, little Lang sock rolls that have the reinforcement thread on the inside. And these are so nice. So I actually call these my Dodger socks because they're Dodger colors. And also I was knitting on them during the, I always forget what it's called. I want to call it the finals, the World Series. I think it's called the World Series. I was knitting on them during the World Series. So they're like my Jade / Dodger socks. And these are all, except for one, knit on 2.5 millimeter needles with 56 stitches. That is my sock recipe for myself. So these are my other Jade socks. When I came home, she actually mailed this sock set to me, which was so nice. I have quite a bit left. Let me see the brand. Oh, I don't know the brand. It says Peach and Pastry, which I'm pretty sure is the colorway, but it's a BFL sock set, so it's 75% blue-faced Leicester and 25% nylon. And I have been wanting to try a blue-faced Leicester sock yarn for a while now. She didn't even know that when she sent these to me, so it was just like serendipitous. But for this, I did a 8x1. That seems crazy, but I did an 8x1 big chunky rib. And she was so nice. She was just like, these are totally your colors. I couldn't pass it up. I had to send it to you, and I love them. Especially this contrast color, this like warm chestnutty brown. It is so nice. So those are my Jade socks. And then, lucky me, I have Sarah socks. So my other friend, who is also part of that group, she is so talented at dyeing yarn. And last year at Christmas time, she sent me 2 skeins that I have been saving. And so finally, I decided it was time. And this one, she said last year, she named this colorway Alien Snow Pants, which makes me smile every time. And so I finally knitted it. It's like pinks and blues. It's so pretty. I did this slip stitch detail down the whole sock, which I think is really fun. Here's the other one. It has a bit more blue in it. And I haven't worn them yet, or my Jade socks, but it's Sarah's birthday this Friday, so I'm going to wear them on her birthday. Those are those. And then I have 2 finished sock sets from Legacy Fiber Arts. Love them, love their yarn. This is the Nevermore Academy colorway. It's this really fun green, brown with a blue. And I think again I did 6x1 for these. A 6x1 rib. Love. And then I just finished these. This is one of their 4 Sundays of Advent sock kits from 2024. Yeah, 2024, called Gingerbread Cafe. And for this, I did the blueberry waffle sock texture. And I love them. I think they're so fun. And I kind of thought that the blueberry waffle sock texture gave like a gingerbread roof texture. So now we will go quickly into half-finished objects and then works in progress. So, oh, sorry, I have one more pair of socks. So this is going to be for Chris's coworker. He works with her a lot, and I finally got to meet her, and we're friends now, and she texts me almost every day when they're at work, just like a little update or like a funny story that happened, and it is so nice. And she is like my true crime bestie. I'm like a little bit in my fluffy sitcom era, but my roots are true crime. And once my anxiety fucks off, I think I will be back. So for a wrap gift, which is like very common in the film industry, they usually do some kind of wrap gift for their department. I decided I was going to knit her a pair of socks as a wrap gift. And she's the Halloween queen. She loves all things Halloween and spooky. And I had this leftover yarn from, I'm pretty sure, Tall Pine Fibers on Etsy. And I was like, well, it's perfect. I must. And so I did. And the gray is just leftover drops Flora that I had from my dad's cozy socks. So yes. Again, she has similar like shoe size to me, so I did 56 stitches again just because I would rather it be a little snug than loose. Okay, half finished objects. So I have had this finished for quite a while. Again, I got this in Loop, London. Chris bought it for me when we were there, and it's a Zauber ball. And I kept the tag forever so I could talk about the colorway, and I have finally lost it. So, but I think the colors are pretty recognizable if you look through, and all of the balls are different. So here's my second one. I'm on the, well, that's quite something, isn't it? I'm on the gusset decreases now. I love working with Zauber balls because they're so fun to look at and to watch. I don't know if I'm huge on the finished object, and like this transition is crazy. Like typically they're pretty soft transitions, and then there's that. You know what I mean? So I don't know. They're very fun, but they're pretty expensive, so I don't know where I'm going with that. Okay. Half finished object number 2. It's not half finished. It's like a quarter finished, but it is my Kupla, again, from the 52 Weeks of Easy Knits book that I have been working on. It is this all over bubble stitch sweater. So I finally finished the, I think this is the back panel. One of the panels because it's seamed. And I literally only had the shoulder part to go. And then I started the other panel. And basically what I was doing for a while was when I get up in the morning and I knit, I was knitting on this. I like to have different projects for different times a day and different locations of the house. So this was my morning knitting. I've kind of fallen off with that, but I am knitting it in this giant glorious cone, which is from Studio Donegal, their soft Donegal, in the shade 5515, which is just sort of like a denim blue. I am a little nervous about how I'm going to, it doesn't match any of my jeans, so actually it will probably be fine, but that is my Kupla. I am making the 4th size, I believe. Okay, we're moving and grooving, people. I got 14 minutes left on my SD card. I'm gonna have to clear some room because we are not 14 minutes away from being done. So this project, we're moving into works in progress. This project is in the naughty corner because, well, first let me just tell you what it is. So I started the sheep sweater by Rosa Pomar, I'm pretty sure, and I was loving it. I'm knitting, the gray is Rauma lamb's wool, which is like a 100% Norwegian lamb's wool, I think. And then the cream off-white color is a woolly knit cone that I got. Here's some caked. It's like off-white with some neps in it. I was really enjoying it, really loving it. I mean, well, my color work doesn't look great, to be completely honest. Like, my color work tension is not like incredible. But so I finished my first sheep repeat, and then the second repeat is kind of offset from the first so that the sheep aren't stacked on top of each other. And when I went to start my next repeat, I am making the 4th size. On either side of the body, I was going to have partial sheep. So basically, the start of the round was like just after the head, so all 4 legs in the body, and then the end of the round was the head and 2 legs. So either I was going to have a 6-legged sheep, or I had to figure something out. So I was trying to figure things out, and it was just hurting my brain. I couldn't do it. And I realized the only size that does not have these partial sheep on the sides is size 2. And size 2 would basically give me very little positive ease. And like I said, I really like positive ease in my sweaters, but it's a fingering weight pattern, colorwork pattern, and I just can't imagine spending this much time on a sweater to have partial motifs on the sides. And yes, it's the sides of the body. Yes, my arms will cover it most of the time. But it's more of just like I don't know, it's a paid for pattern, and it's just, I found it kind of disappointing that the sizes don't have complete chart repeats, because it's a lot of work to knit this, and I want it to look good, and I want it to look thoughtful, and I absolutely will not be having decapitated sheep on my sweater. So I don't know. I'm still figuring out what to do with this. I don't know if I'm going to try to just make like a really long sheep, or maybe 2 smaller sheep, or rip back and just try to do a size 2 instead of a size 4. I don't know. What would you do? Some of my friends say they, you know, the partial sheep are okay. Others are like, yeah, that would drive me crazy too. I don't know. It's very disappointing. So this is in the naughty corner. My next sweater, which has not been getting a ton of love, is my cloud sweater by Petite Knit in this beautiful, oh no. Oh no, one of my little ghosty stitch markers popped off. That might work, just using one. This beautiful, beautiful yarn. So this is Lullabi in the shade 1702, which I'm pretty sure they call Milky Way. It's really bothering me. I don't know where that ghost needle stopper went. So the reason this isn't getting a ton of love is because I can almost not stand touching this yarn. It is so prickly. And I have a friend who's knit with it, and she says with wash and wear, it's really kind of worn in nicely. I can barely stand it on my hands, let alone my inner arms or my neck. So I do not know what to do. I washed and blocked a swatch, and it pretty much feels exactly the same as it does knitting it. But it's so beautiful. I really, really, really want the final sweater. But like, I truly can hardly stand touching it, let alone wearing it. I don't know what to do. Send help. Okay. My next very exciting project is again in that 100% recycled wool that I have been talking about. And it is the kind of Moorland cardigan. And I say kind of because my gauge must be so far off from the pattern, because basically I was supposed to split for sleeves like here. And I had to do all these extra rounds and increase repeats to make it wearable. But we got there in the end. The neck is kind of a weird shape because my gauge is off, but I think once I pick up the neck and do the collar, it'll be totally fine. As you can maybe tell, this will be a steeked cardigan. And yes, it is a little bit scary, but at the same time, I'm gonna do the crochet method where I go in and I pick up all the stitches. And I feel really good about that method. Have I looked in how to do it? Have I looked into how to do it? Not at all, but conceptually, it feels very sturdy. So I want to show you this yarn up close. Bird just swooped the window. Because this is what I meant by some colors have more tweed than others. Can you see how many colors are in this yarn? It's so pretty. So this is their, I think they, oh my nose. I think they call it light salmon. And I was really, really worried it would be too close to my skin tone, which it might be. I don't want to look, you know that thing where you catch someone out of the corner of their eye when they're wearing clothing a bit too close to their skin tone and you're like, is that a naked person? And then you're like, oh no, they're wearing clothes. But there's that moment of, is that a naked person? So I'm going to put dark buttons down the front. Chris and I were talking about this and I was like, I'm worried if I do a sweater, I'll have that naked person thing. But if I do a cardigan, I can put dark contrasting buttons down the front, which might really help. And he was like, definitely do a cardigan, I agree. And I was like, I don't feel like knitting flat. And he was like, do one of the ones where you cut it. And I was like, I'm so proud of you. You know about steeking. So this has been on my to knit list for a long time. I actually started it a long time ago. And again, my gauge was so far off. I didn't feel like the yarn was really doing the pattern justice. And so I ripped that out. And look at the pretty leaf motif. So that's gonna go all down the sleeves. And so I have this much left of my second ball. And then I have two more, excuse you. I have two more complete balls. So I think it'll be okay. But I'm definitely gonna go to a sleeve after I finish this ball and see how much yarn that uses up and go from there. If not, I will just do a contrasting collar and button band, which will really help break up the whole naked person thing. So my last work in progress, I literally have only done one single row on, but I want to start picking it back up again because I would love to gift it to her, and her is my mom. I have been knitting another Cumulus tee. My neighbors have been doing construction and they are sawing wood right now and it sounds insane. So, sorry. This is the Cumulus tee by Petite Knit in the 5th size. I knit my mom one a few years ago in veganyarn.com, their fingering base, which is an organic cotton and bamboo base in a black, variegated black yarn. And she wears it all the time and it really suits her. It looks very comfortable. And so I offered to knit her another one. And this is out of Knitting for Olive Merino in their denim blue colorway, I'm pretty sure. And we went to a local yarn store, bought the yarn together, didn't buy enough. And so I've had to order some more online. And not only are they different from the original dye lot, they are different dye lots from one another. So that's really fun. So I just added one of those to the bottom of the body. We're just gonna have to roll with the punches, I think, on this one. So yeah, it's slow going. It's on 3mm needles. Knitting for Olive Merino is obviously a very light, not very light, but a light fingering yarn. but I think it's really nice. I was going to knit it for her in a periwinkle blue color, and when we went to the store, she actually picked this blue out. So the modifications that I make for the Cumulus tee is I do not do I-cord finishes. We tried that, and they just weren't very comfortable. So what we do instead is a rolled stockinette finish, because it kind of looks like an I-cord finish when it rolls. So what I do is I get it to the length we want it. I do 1 purl round and then 2 centimeters in stockinette. So that purl round stops the stockinette from just endlessly rolling, but those 2 centimeters give it a really nice I-cord-esque finish. So that is all of my finished objects and works in progress. We're gonna go into acquisitions, but I gotta clear my SD card first. So one moment. All right, SD card is cleared. Framing has probably changed because I had my camera plugged into this external battery, but it also died. So we've done all sorts of housekeeping. So I had a birthday in early February, and my mom gifted me some really beautiful Legacy Fiber Arts yarn. So I asked for this skein. This is a fundraiser that they are still doing. It's called their Resist colorway, and they recommend knitting the Melt the Ice cap with it. And I considered doing that, but I just don't wear hats almost ever. As much as I love making them, as much as I love the idea of them, it's rarely cold enough here to wear hats. And so I'm going to make myself some Melt the Ice DK weight socks instead. So I think 100% of the proceeds of this yarn they donate to various organizations that are trying to assist with the brutality that is going on here right now. And so that's just, it was such a great cause. Red is my favorite color, and so I asked for this for my birthday. And in addition, she bought me this beautiful sock set, which I have put in my cart almost every time I've made a purchase from Legacy Fiber Arts, and I just never pull the trigger. But it's the pumpkin pie sock set, and I just think it's so pretty. So these are my birthday yarns. Cannot wait to knit them up. And then, depending on how loud this is, I might have to do some editing. But I did a huge purchase of that 100% recycled wool yarn, because again, well, they were having like a Valentine's Day sale where all the packs of this yarn were like $8.60, I think. And so all of this was like, I want to say $120 after shipping and fucking tariffs and whatever. So do I have to take it out of the packaging? It'd be best if I took it out of the packaging, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to try to rustle it as little as possible. So I got this beautiful red. I got this beautiful baby light blue color. I got this kind of off-white with rainbow tweeds color. No plan for most of these. I just really love the yarn, and they were having a sale. So, but I figured this color could be really nice for maybe some sort of color work. I got, again, the same color that I used for my finished Versal, because I thought this would make a really great sweater for Chris. I got this really beautiful, cool toned brown. this one is going to be kind of hard to see, but this is like a very dark green. This will be for Chris. I got this really fun light green, which Chris was really scared was for him because he doesn't like it. And I was like, no, bro, that's for me. And I love it. So, and then finally, I got this really pretty baby pink. Now again, I'm a little bit worried about the naked person thing. But again, if I use this as part of a color work sweater, we won't have that problem. So, those are my acquisitions. And then obviously this red of the recycled wool, this like khaki of the recycled wool, and this light salmon of the recycled wool are also. This was part of this big order, and these two are the colors that I ordered first just to try out the yarn. And as soon as I opened it and tried it, I was like, oh, I'm gonna need a lot more of that. So, yes, that's everything. I don't even think I ever gave my UK yarn haul. I did a huge order from, well, huge, I did 5 cones, I think, from Woolly Knit, and Jade let me ship them to her house so I didn't have to pay shipping, because the shipping from Woolly Knit to California, I can't afford that. So she let me ship it to her, and then I packed it home with me. Thank God it fit in my carry-on, one of my carry-ons. I take 2, because I ordered 4 cones and then a 200 gram hank. This was supposed to be a 200 gram hank, and I was gonna like shove it in one of the cones. And when she sent me pictures of my order, I was like, is that 5 cones? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, oh, that white one is supposed to be a 200 gram hank. And she was like, well, it's a cone. So like, yay. But I was very stressed that I was not going to have enough room to get it all home. So I didn't buy very much while I was there. So next time I will show those cones, which is mean of me because I'm not very consistent, but I will show them next time if you are interested in seeing them. Last thing I will mention is something that my mom actually made for me. So I am a continental knitter. So my yarn drags over my left pointer finger when I knit. And depending on the yarn, depending on how much I'm knitting, it gets really sore and I get a really deep red line in my finger. And I was starting to worry that I was going to give myself a permanent marking. And so I asked my mom if she would make me a little finger cover. And so she did. She crocheted it for me, and I honestly use it every day. It's kind of looking like a little manky because the yarn obviously fluffs up this yarn. And it's great. I do not get that sore line when I'm using this. The only problem is, which I don't think is something we could fix, is when the yarn drags across this, it will twist it, and eventually it kind of twists it up. But I reposition my grip every, so many stitches anyways to kind of pull the yarn along. So whenever I like stop to pull the yarn around, I just kind of like slide it down my finger again. So it's little and it's kind of silly, but my mom made it for me and it's honestly saved my finger so much irritation. I was initially just doing band-aids, but I was doing it like daily, and I was like, no, I can't be wasting band-aids every day. I mean, it's not a waste because it was protecting my finger, but it was making waste. And I was like, I cannot keep doing this. It doesn't feel good. So then my mom made me this one. And it's great. So. That was everything. Thanks for being here with me. Thanks for being patient with me. I don't know why recording videos takes so much energy out of me, but it feels like socializing at a party for hours, which is silly because I'm just talking to myself, but I think I just put a lot of pressure on myself to have everything ready and organized and have all of my details remembered. All my details remembered. And to remember all of my details or have my notes up, or I don't know what it is, but yeah, I'm hoping that I get to a place where it doesn't feel quite so exhausting, because I love when I upload getting to talk to you guys in the comments. It's quite truly the only reason that I do these videos, is so I have a chance to talk to you. I love it. It really fills my cup, you may say. But yeah, all right. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna have lunch, and I will be back when I have more to talk about. Bye.